What's up, you weirdos? Fever here. I want to talk about the loot economy in Destiny and give my thoughts on it as well. See, I can't help but feel like loot is meaningless at this point. Think about it for a second. When's the last time you got a legendary and had to clean off your monitor or chair because it was exciting? I haven't felt that way since D1. Now, before we go down some road about D1 being better than D2, I don't have rose tinted glasses on. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you D1 was better, because personally, I think Destiny 2 has so much more potential and more to offer. What I'm saying is, Destiny 1 in its early years had this loot economy that when a legendary dropped, you were excited. And if an exotic dropped, it was game over. That's because it was rare. I remember when I got the Gjallarhorn, I walked around in the Cosmodrome blowing up shanks and dregs just because I could. I don't have a problem with how much loot we have in Destiny currently. In fact, I would like to see more. My problem is how often we get it, how easy it is to get the role you're after, and how all the weapons feel the same, with maybe some slight variations like recoil pattern and range. You and I can have two different 150 hand cannons, but they will probably feel the same. And it's almost like once you have that perk combination on your weapon archetype, why would you need to farm anything else? Bungie did introduce some new perks this season, which made things a lot more interesting, but I still want to see more. And to make matters worse, we now have the Recaster, which lets us focus them in favor of the weapons and roles we want, with what seems like an endless supply of Umbral Engrams on tap. I don't see any incentive to grind anything when everything you need is handed to you in mass quantity. At least with the Menagerie, you had to complete it first. And yes, I completely understand that RNG isn't always in your favor, but we all have good days and bad days, or even bad months. It makes the game seem too easy, especially when everyone's walking around with high stat armor along with damage and reload perks on their weapons. Isn't it boring to you? I almost want Bungie to phase out those perks. I mean, they've already nerfed them a few times, just get rid of them. What if we got less loot dumped in our laps, but better quality? I don't mean less loot in the game. Like I said earlier, I want more, but make it drop less frequently. And make it feel special when it does drop. How many times do you need to stop what you're doing and clear out your postmaster? There's a reason things like the Mountaintop and Recluse are so coveted. They're so much better than everything else. When you got those pinnacles, it was such an exciting feeling because you knew it was a weapon that would stand out. Wouldn't you like to have that feeling with other weapons as well, and not just a pinnacle? I know I would. I'm not saying every weapon in the game needs to be over the top stupid, but give us the feeling of earning it and using it. I get so many legendaries and exotics that it's become a chore to collect and delete them all. I would even be okay with another rarity of loot added to the game, kind of like Borderlands with the Pearl Essence. I know that's kind of what Bungie was going for with the pinnacles, but the problem with that for a lot of people was what you had to do to get some of them. And it turned into the only weapons anyone would use because it was the only good ones we had, or because they stood out. Also, we don't currently have any new pinnacles coming in the future, unless Bungie changes their minds. I feel like there needs to be this balance between less quantity and value of time. I don't want to see us only getting legendaries once a week, but currently we do any activity in the game and get a ton of loot that we ended up deleting most of anyways. I feel like it hurts the longevity of playing the game when everything is handed to you. Take the mods or some of the raid exotics for instance. You had to work for those, and when you got them it was awesome. I didn't get the Anarchy until recently when Bungie opened up some of the raids to be farmable. And you know what? It was totally worth the wait, because it made the drop that much more special to me. Armor is the same way. Once you get some really high stat armor, which isn't hard, what else is there to chase? You and I both know we're going to carry it over until Bungie forces us to sunset everything. There's no real variations of the armor, nothing that makes it stand out except for looks, and being heavy in one stat over another. Which now it turns into this whole thing needing to carry so much armor because you want the different stats on different pieces. I think the only good thing that came out of the Armor 2.0 is the mod system, but even that's broken. Especially when you can put any mod on by changing the elemental affinity. What happened to the days of farming a Nightfall or a Strike over and over to get that perfect roll? I miss the feeling of finally getting what you were after. Who remembers farming Omnigul for a Grasp of Malak pulse rifle, or playing PvP matches non-stop for an IS Luna? Do me a favor and let me know in the comments section how many Engrams you get in a day. Thank you. Have a great day.